Oh, hey. Uh, how's it going, guys? Well, let me tell you something. Today's show is brought to you by Audible. Audible is offering our listeners a free audiobook with a 30-day trial membership. Just go to audibletrial.com/pbt and browse an unmatched selection of audio programs. Download the title for free and start listening. It's that easy. Go to audibletrial.com/pbt and grab yourself a fucking Coors Light and enjoy some goddamn audiobooks.
Unless you're a pussy.
Yep.
Hey everyone, welcome to Peanut Butter and Triggered. I'm joined by my main man,
Jace, what's up?
and
Jacob, what's up?
hey, we're going to talk about Twitch and who knows what else. We're just kind of going to let God guide us in today's podcast, and do a little PDW, a little this, a little that. Hey guys, let's start with our PDW. Well, who will it be? Maybe Jacob.
Yeah, so, playing, did I say, I don't remember if I said last week, I just started playing Valorant.
Mm-hmm.
Been playing that, been back on the Apex grind a little bit. Oh, a game I actually just recently got back into is old school RuneScape again. One of my, friends who plays with me was like, dude, I just started playing, I was like, oh fuck, and then I just got like the bug for it. So
You play it on your phone.
I do, dude. Actually, when I usually end gaming on my PC upstairs, what I do is I slap my tablet on my nightstand, put it on the like little tablet mount thing, and I'll like just sit there and AFK farm on there while I'm on my phone watching YouTube videos. So like when I'm gaming, when I'm not gaming, I'm gaming, you know.
Old Boo Cotton.
And then just been knocking out some yard work. Haven't been doing much. Parker, my puppy, just got his second round of shots today, so can't wait to actually start, once he gets his shots done, get him out, and then socialize with other little puppies.
When can I see him?
Never. I won't let him ever see you.
Okay.
See, Jacob's racist and so are his animals, so I wouldn't recommend going near them, Jay.
That's not true.
I'm kind
Axel liked me.
No. Oh, did Axel like you when you came over?
He loved me.
Really? He didn't
Yeah.
bark?
Oh, when he didn't know who was at the door, and then he met me.
Oh, dude, my dog. So, dude, there's some people that are like, "Oh, hi, boy," and then I'll just be like, "Row, row, row," and they'll be like, "Ah!" and they'll like fucking run away. I'm like, dude, my dog's not gonna bite you. He just like doesn't know you, so he's scared. But
Better
then
watch
like
it,
he'll
man.
sniff you, huh?
The police would shoot him. The police will shoot your dog if it even like looks at him wrong.
No.
Probably.
You live
No.
in Sandy, though. Yeah, they would.
Yeah. No way.
100%.
They'd probably mistake Axel for like a wolf or something. He's pretty big.
and shoot him.
He's huge.
No, he's not. I think he can I seriously think he has like a sense down on if like people like genuinely love like animals and like hang around animals and stuff, and people who like not necessarily don't like animals, but like when they see a dog, they're like, oh, a dog, rather than people who like actually have like a dominant affection for him.
Like you can
Like-
tell normal people from animal lovers.
Yeah, like you like have this like weird fetish with dogs. Like you have a calendar of dogs in your like at work. So clearly you have good
Oh,
body
dude.
language with your fetish.
I gotta go get that calendar back. It's a dog-a-day calendar.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. By the time you go back to work, that it'll be over. The calendar's gonna
Yeah.
be over.
The fiscal year's done. What's funny about that calendar, just so you guys know, is and Jay was like showing me, like he's like, dude, look at the dog today. He'd show me and then he'd throw it away. But we didn't know that the other half of the year is on the back side of it. So he like is missing some parts of the year because he was
I'm only
throwing
missing a
away.
week.
Huh? Only a week?
Yeah.
They
Oh.
did you dirty putting the second half of the year on the back of it.
Seriously, I went there. I was like, dude, there's no way that's 365. And he's like, yeah, it is. And then he like looked at the last one. He's like, what the hell? And then like I really like got him on it. He was like, dude, that's such a ripoff. And then he started like inspecting them and found it out.
I got played. I played myself.
Yeah. And then watching. Oh, dude, I'm kind of good on watching right now. Just finished Supernatural season 15. That is. I'm like cannot stress enough the shittiest ending to any series I have ever watched in my life. It's not even completed, And just to give you an idea of how like rushed it felt, typically every season's like 22 episodes. This season was 13, so they clearly rushed it, and it was just like there's no way it's over, but it's claimed to be over. And what else did I watch? I think that's it. Oh, dude, I don't know, you guys might actually know this too. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm sure Jay would probably be interested in this. There's this new series that I saw on YouTube. Or it's probably not new. It's like a cooking show, but they take people who are really, really, really fucking bad at cooking, and they make it like a TV series. It's called like America's Worst Cooks. And
yeah,
dude,
he brought that up. He did that with British.
He did?
Can you tell me about you watched that with the British people or something?
Similar, but the British home cooks are actually good.
Okay.
Are you talking about Worst Cooks in America?
Worst Cooks in
Food
America,
Network?
yeah. Bro, this girl, it was just like a 2-minute clip. This is like what kind of like hooked me in. This girl sliced an avocado, like, down. Like, she sliced like 10 pieces with the core still in it, like the whole avocado. And as she like pulls up this little thin slice of like avocado and then the nut in the middle, she's like, "Oh, I didn't know these were so hard to cut. Avocados are so hard." She's like, "I don't know if the middle's edible. I'm just gonna leave it there." I'm like, "How the fuck do you not know about the pit of an avocado?"
It's gotta be fake. Like, people aren't that stupid.
I don't know,
some
bro.
people are.
They take some pretty dumb people in there.
How did she even cut it? She must have had a super sharp knife just to cut slices of avocado pit.
Bro, this one girl had a knife with a cover on it, and she couldn't cut. And the professional chef up top was like, "Take the cover off." She's like, "Oh, okay. I was wondering why it wasn't cutting." Then fucking turns the knife upside down, and is cutting with the like not sharp side of it. And he was like, "Turn the knife upside down," and she's like, "Oh, is this side sharper?" He's like, "That's the only sharp side of the knife." But I'm sure like being on pressure of camera, there's probably some fake aspect of it too. That probably all adds up to where you're gonna make stupid mistakes. But
yeah,
I mean, those are pretty bad.
I could see that.
But that's it for my PDW.
Jay.
I finished Ash vs. the Evil Dead. The series I would grade A-. Season 3, I'd grade maybe like a B-. It didn't end on a good note, or not a great note. It was fine. It was enjoyable still, but they canceled the show on a total cliffhanger, so you get no resolution. There's even rumor that they're going to make a movie, but even now, the movie isn't going to star any of the original cast, so I don't even know what the idea behind that is, but the series is good. Playing, I picked up NBA 2K20 again on my Switch. I'm going to try to finish out my career mode, get in the Hall of Fame. And lastly, as far as what I'm doing, I just came back from Bend, Oregon, which is Central Oregon, and now my guts are stopped up again. So I drank some prune juice, and now they're overactive, so I might have to take a break in the middle of this and leave you guys. Patricia even told me that she would even send me some suppositories, because I was having gut stuff last time, but now this prune juice is doing its job. It's actively right now just like putting a fucking stranglehold on my intestines. I can hear and feel my guts bubbling. You know, I have sweat collecting in beads on my fucking brow. It's terrible.
I'll tell you guys what I did one time as a youngster. I was probably like 16, or maybe I was in high school. Maybe as a sophomore or something in high school, and like I had to take a huge shit. And so I like went to the bathroom and I thought about it, and I was like, dude, I wonder what happened. This is one of the stupidest things I've ever done. I wonder what would happen if I held the shit as long as I could, like sitting over the toilet, and then right before, like, I was basically gonna shit myself, but I was sitting on the toilet, I pushed as hard as I could. And
so what happened?
It was a mess. It like splattered everywhere. because I had to poop so bad. I was just like holding it, and then I pushed like as hard, as like hard as you could evacuate your bowels.
How much
Can't
blood
you
was
hurt
there?
yourself that way? Like permanently?
Yeah.
Sure, I bet there was no blood. Like I wasn't physically hurt. It was just a mess. So I just had to take a shower.
Yeah, you can get an aneurysm that way.
I mean, the thing was I wasn't like.
Don't try this at home, kids.
It wasn't prolonged pushing. It was like one push, and it was already coming out. So I don't know. I don't know.
Should have recorded it.
I should have, exactly. But it's a terrible idea, and like I still think it's something really stupid. But yeah. Anyway.
Just so you guys know too, even though Jay's had prune juice, there is nobody in this world that can hold their shit like Jay. So I highly doubt he's gonna have to take a break during this podcast. He's just gonna hold it like a fucking champ.
No, I might. Seriously, my guts are actively like. Have you ever changed your own oil in your car?
Yep.
Do you know, like, when you take the drain plug out, the oil just starts spewing?
Yeah.
The drain plug that is my butthole is on its last thread.
No.
And I swear to God, I'm currently trying to power through this podcast. But
what's your record?
It's 4 days.
There you go.
But that was like on a liquid diet for 2 days during a music festival. The third day I had half liquid, mostly almonds, and then the last day I ate whatever I wanted.
Dude, you're shitting like a bird.
What?
You had nuts and water for 4 days.
No, the fourth day I had whatever I wanted. I had a burrito, 4 slices of pizza, chocolate, a bunch of coffee, and it was a toilet bowl filler for sure.
All right, so that's what you're doing, right?
Yeah. And then there was one other thing that I was going to start watching. I think I'm going to start watching Sopranos.
I feel like I need to watch that too. Same with Boardwalk Empire is one that I never watched that I feel like I should watch.
I know, me too. So I'm going to start watching those and give myself a chance. Because I've watched like every fucking thing. I've watched like 90 Day Fiancé. I've watched 600 Pound Life. I've watched like all the Rick and Morty, Solar Opposites. I've watched everything. I have seen all anime.
Oh.
I mean, I feel like I have. I've seen one. I feel like I've seen them all.
Are you a Sakura fan?
Yeah.
Oh.
Her bike's stupid though.
Yeah.
She's not. She's a Naruto, and just, there are no fucking Sakura fans, okay?
Right.
Lord Nuxanor said there's no Sakura fans, so no fucking Sakura fans.
That's true.
I'll have to believe you on that one.
All right, that's it. That's my doing, watching. Scott, what about you?
Hey, my wife and I have been watching Shark Tank. If you don't watch Shark Tank, you definitely should. It is a really interesting show. Even the older episodes where the products are like out of date, it's still worth watching.
Yo, I'm about to have a Shark Tank right now. I'm like so close.
It's funny that you just brought up Shark Tank, actually. I've been watching a lot of like YouTube clips of Shark Tank episodes, and it's actually super interesting.
It is. There are multiple investors. The key investor, I think, on the panel is Mark Cuban, who's worth about $40 billion. And he's probably my favorite because he's a regular person. Like, he started off normal, but he's just filthy fucking rich now.
Is that which guy is that? Because I know it goes like a guy and then a girl.
He usually sits on the far left, I believe. He's like a younger.
Is he the one that always calls the other people bottom feeders?
No, I don't know if he calls them bottom feeders.
He goes, I don't listen to
Kevin
that
O'Leary,
bottom feeders, mate.
Mark Cuban, the guy that did Fubu, the QFC lady.
It's like Desmond, John, the QFC lady's name, like, I don't remember what her name is, but, Mark, I like all of them because they all bring interesting spins to it, and they also, like, sometimes, like, it goes really terribly. Like, this one I watched, they, like, put this guy in tears. He had, like, no product. There's another lady who came, and said, she had, what was it good? Her invention was basically a meditation app, and the meditation app was, how is it? Oh yeah, she said she had $2.5 million in the bank, but she still wanted money from them. and it like super pissed them off.
I saw one guy that had an invention that was a system where it was like, you know, like those flag people that like if there's a construction site, one side says stop and the other one says like slow. It automatically turns those, and there's like an app you use and stuff like that to like help navigate traffic. And the guy had like this whole story, and he asked for a case of beer, and all the Shark Tanks, all the people, they're like, all right, we'll take, because he didn't want the business, he just wanted to like get the product through, and they all bought him 2 cases of beer each. I think I'm watching Shark Tank Australia though.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, there's Shark Tanks all over. They do all sorts. There's a couple like there. Have you ever been to the store like in Fred Meyer or something? Have you ever seen that sponge that looks like a smiley face? Have you ever seen that before?
Mm-mm.
Well, it's called like the.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was on Shark Tank originally. It's like Shark Tank's biggest like ever product. And the QVC lady, I can't remember her name right now. She like invested in him, and then like basically his business exploded. The other guy they have on there is this Indian dude, and he's kind of cool too. He's done pop chips. He did all these famous brands. I can't like natural brands that he's really good with. So he hoovers up a lot of the those style of brand. Then this one I watched today had Richard Branson on it, the owner of Virgin. And then sometimes like Ashton Kutcher's on there. It's pretty good. I enjoy it a lot.
Ashton Kutcher, not Kutcher.
Whatever.
But anyway.
Did you guys see the perfect top ramen thing? Where it's just a dish. You put the top ramen in this little plastic dish. You fill the water up to the line. You put it in the microwave, and it makes perfect top ramen every single time.
Little black tray.
Is it black?
Yeah, it's black with 2 handles on the side.
Huh.
Yeah, they're like super popular. Wanna know one crazy thing that was on Shark Tank, and none of the sharks took it, and it ended up being like booming business. Huh?
The wine?
I think there's a wine one. There's also Ring Doorbell. That's another big one. I can't remember. There's one where I just watched the video. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but I thought the Ring Doorbell one was super interesting. I was like, oh shit, like that's crazy that they're like, oh yeah, this invention sucks. There's no point. Nobody's gonna want this, and then boom, business just blows up. Oh no, I think they gave him an offer. I don't think that he liked the offer actually. I think that's actually what happened.
That happens a lot. I think if the idea is good enough, a lot of the times it'll take off no matter what. But sometimes the sharks could like speed up that process for them because of their contacts and stuff.
It blows my mind how well. I guess it shouldn't blow my mind, but like the sharks are so good about asking the right questions. Like you'll get this pitch and you'll be like, oh wow, this is like a good business. Like that. I mean, like everything's well pitched. Like all the money's there, they have income, blah blah blah, and they'll be like, "Oh, so how much of the business do you own? Is it like sole proprietorship?" Blah blah blah. I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like I probably wouldn't have think to ask those questions because this just sounds so good. And then they're like, "Oh yeah, I don't own like this," or like they'll ask about like the packaging on a wrapper if it's like legal, and they'll be like, "Oh well, blah blah blah." They're like, "Well, you can't claim this because that's illegal. You're wrong." And they're like, "Oh well, I didn't know that." I'm like, dude, that's so like.
Or the technology
like,
has
really
an open patent.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like stuff like that. I'm like, dude, I would never think to ask those questions.
Well, like sometimes I think too, people who are underprepared with their product will come in against like one of the guys. His name like Robert Hjejovic or something like that. He owns like a whole a big internet security firm, and sometimes people come with like internet like things, and he's like literally an expert. And so he's like hitting them with these like questions specific like to it, and he'll like break them down like real quick. Actually, like a few months ago when I was watching it, I went like a lot of times when I'm watching, I'll go to the person's website who's on there and see like their product, how much it is, all that stuff. And this one girl, I can't remember specifically what she's selling, but something to do with fashion. And she wrote a blog about what it was like going on the Shark Tank. Which was really interesting. She said it's weird because she said like the sharks are sitting there. They go out before they even start filming. They set up like their setup, you know. They have their table, their TV maybe, whatever they're like showing off. So she's like, it's kind of awkward because like you're literally in the room with the sharks setting all your shit up, and then you walk back out, and then they make you walk like up and down that hallway multiple times because they have to get all the shots and all the different angles. And then they said once you get out there, you have to stand there not saying anything for like 4 minutes. And if you watch the show, you'll see like the swooping camera going back and forth all the time. And that's where they get that shot, the shot of like the person just standing there and the camera swooping around them. And she said that once it actually starts, she said she was in there for like 40 minutes, which obviously that's like a 4-minute segment or 5-minute segment in the show. But she said that they broke it down and like hit her with every question. Like it was all legit. But she said obviously they cut all the little ones that weren't interesting. But I thought it was really interesting hearing the fact that, you know, they don't just walk out and present. Like she said that all the sharks were just sitting there on their phones, like texting while she was like getting stuff ready, you know?
You gotta expect that though with production.
For sure.
Man.
I 100% agree, and so I don't have anything against it. But it is interesting hearing like that side of the story.
The thing I guess you can kind of appreciate from that whole blog is the fact that she said that once it started, it was all legit. Because not a lot of like TV like that is legit. So
yeah, and they're all real offers. Usually they fall out. Even the offers that are made and accepted usually fall out. But some of them go through, others don't. It just depends. But anyway, that's what we've really been watching. And then, to be honest, like a bulk of what I have been doing and my wife's been watching me is just The Last of Us. It was a long game. Like, I was surprised how long it was. I think it clocked in, for me, who I usually beat games relatively quick, at like 22 and a half hours. Of a story-driven single-player game. Like, with no multiplayer, like, no branching paths, nothing. So yeah.
Is there room for like a DLC for like a post, like an epilogue or something?
I don't think so.
It's pretty finite.
Yeah, I think that I'm not going to spoil anything. Just if anyone's listening, and they want to play The Last of Us, please go play it. I won't spoil anything for you. What I will say is, I really think they did a lot of the characters dirty. I don't think it was written well. If anything, it was also written in a weird order. I'm not going to go into it, but there are things that happened really early, and I was like, dude, this should have been at the end of the game, or this should have been halfway through. And then the whole second half of the game, my wife and I were both saying, why are we doing this? One of the last battles in the game, I was like purposely killing myself because I didn't want to kill the boss. Like, I was like, dude, I don't want this person to die. And so, I don't know, like, to me, if you, like, build some characters and don't build others, or, like, if we have attachment to characters throughout this game we're playing, and then all of a sudden, it's trying to maybe sway your viewpoint, I didn't like that much. The story end of it. Now, the gameplay, ton of fun. Super brutal, like, very gory. You can blow people's arms off and stuff.
What's the weapon crafting like?
What's that?
What's the weapon crafting like?
So weapon crafting is probably one of the weaknesses, and one of the things I didn't like is the same thing with the upgrade skill tree, because I felt like they meant nothing. So you find bolts all over the world, and you can use bolts to upgrade your weapon. And there's not really meaningful upgrades. So like, for example, like you would think it would upgrade or change the way a gun works, but it just doesn't. Like, it'll say upgrade stability, and you literally spend 50 bolts, and it upgrades, like, you have a 30% stability, negative 40% recoil. Which I understand, like, I guess I upgraded it, but, like, there's, like, for example, the shotgun. The shotgun can, you can increase rate of fire on the shotgun. Anytime you shoot someone with a shotgun, they're dead. You don't need to shoot, like, multiple times. It's the same with recoil. You don't need to reduce recoil on the shotgun, because you only shoot once in the game. Like, you shoot anyone point blank with the shotgun through the whole game, from the very start to the very end. If you shoot anything with the shotgun, it'll kill it in one shot. As long as you, like, land it correctly. So there's very few, like, second shots. I mean, they're on occasion, but, so, like, I found myself just, like, looking at all the upgrades and thinking, well, it doesn't really matter what I upgrade. I guess I'll just upgrade this. I just upgraded the damage portion of some guns because I was like, well, doing more damage is always a good thing.
thought
But
you were gonna say the damage on shotguns. I was like, that sounds really stupid, but okay.
yeah, there's like all the guns have like really low capacities. Like you get an assault rifle that holds 9 bullets, and then you can upgrade it, and it upgrades it and puts like 4 more bullets in it. Which I
That's a
mean,
max
like,
upgrade.
yeah, that's the upgrade. And so it's like, I understand what they're doing, right? They're trying to make it scarce, so your gun's like you're not shooting like crazy, you're like running out of ammo. But then give me something different than an assault rifle. Give me like a bolt action rifle, or like, I don't know, like a single shot shotgun. Don't give me an assault rifle that only holds 9 bullets. Like, that's stupid.
I got a
There
question for you
are
guys.
real life
real quick.
handguns out there that hold more than that.
Literally, the pistols in the game in real life hold like 15, and they hold 6 in the game. It's like, yeah, what were you gonna say? Ask Jacob.
So this is kind of touching back on your I didn't want to kill the last boss because I liked him kind of thing. When you guys play video games, and I'm just curious because I'm the opposite, having logged so much WoW time that like when I get a quest and I like if I do like start a new like chapter or whatever, I literally don't fucking care what I'm doing. Like if it says go kill 10 of these and it's because I'm actually like committing mass genocide, like I don't care, just go kill 10 of them. But are you guys the kind of people that like you like morally you like going through the storyline and progressing, or are you just kind of just like a soldier who's like, all right, cool, do it, beat the game?
Well, I know for me, like in Grand Theft Auto, or like even in the MMOs, I don't really care. You're just playing for gameplay. But The Last of Us is different. The Last of Us is like a story game. Like if you don't care about the story, there's like no reason to play it, you know? And in the first game, you get really attached to Joel and Ellie, and they have like a really interesting growth together, and now like, you know, it's just, so I care about this story, but it depends on the game, really. I don't know how Jay feels.
Yeah. It depends on the game for sure for me, but more so the gameplay, not necessarily like if there's a story that I'm really invested in. Something that kind of, I guess, was sparked in my brain is when you play Skyrim and you're trying to escape Markarth, and all of those guards are coming at you. The first like 2 times, like, oh, I can kill all of these guys. My 2-handed perks and skill is like super high. Same thing with archery, and I have my follower with me. Then my follower dies, and then like I'm like running out of arrows, and I'm like I have no like magicka, so I can't cast any spells, and like my fucking war axe is like running out of like whatever like enchantment it has. Like I'm gonna fucking die. Well, I'll give it a better strategy next time. I'll strike from the high ground, and then the same thing fucking happens. I was like, I don't think I'm supposed to beat this. So then finally I get captured, and then I was like, oh, okay, that was the story. They should just say so then. But if it's like, I guess if it's the story, like say if it's like on Grand Theft Auto or like Red Dead Redemption, for example, I'm trying to be like as good of a guy as possible. Like if it says kill 5 things, then I kill those 5 things. But if it's like go take out this like gang of meth heads, I'm annihilating all of them. If they're bad guys, I'm killing them all. If they're good guys, I
No
kill
morals.
as few of them as possible. Yeah, definitely.
I guess I
when I
should
think of that
preface
stuff.
this a little bit better too. I've always been the guy where I've never cared about the campaign. Like sure, like when I played Modern Warfare 2, when I was mowing down a whole terminal of people in the airport, and the inside was like, oh wow, this is kind of like morally wrong. Yes, but I mean after that mission, I didn't give a shit what I did. I was like, alright dude, I gotta beat the game because all my friends are beating the game. Like I gotta fucking beat the game. Like any game I've ever played, COD, Halo, there's a game I played called like Castle Crashers or Castle Wars, something like that. Like I have never cared about storyline ever. I've only cared about progression for my guy.
In a game like The Last of Us, then it just, I don't think you'd have fun. Because there's a lot of story, there's a lot of like dialogue amongst the characters. Yeah. So there's also a few other things like I wanted to touch on because I actually was like taking notes because I was like thinking a lot about it. I really debated whether it was a good game or a bad game. Like, I went back and forth, like, mentally. Even my wife, like, we laid in bed last night talking for, like, an hour, because she watched the whole game, start to finish, and we were, like, saying that, well, if they would have done this, and we would have done this, there's a couple things that I really liked. First off...
You should have brought Erica on.
What?
You should have brought Erica on so you could both talk about it.
It's true, I should have. The only thing is, it's all spoiler. Like, everything we were talking about is, like, super, super spoiler. And the game... 2 hours in, you'd get spoiled. Like, the game would be spoiled, I feel like. At least if you want to have the best experience. I will say, like, locations, super detailed. Like, you're in Seattle, doesn't look like Seattle at all, but you're in Seattle.
Perfect.
Yeah, I know. Like the Ferris wheel does not look like the Ferris wheel. It's like on a weird dock that makes no sense. And there's like this huge marina next to it with all these like, I don't know. It's just a huge dock and underwater marina. It's not correct at all. But anyway, so yeah, you're in Seattle. You're in Wyoming. You're in a couple other places. So all the locations are really fleshed out. Also, you're caught in what is basically a civil war between two factions in Seattle. That's actually fun because you're like just kind of cruising through, watching like the devastation between these two groups because you're basically just an outsider in it. Graphically, I said this looks amazing, and the best thing about the whole game, in my opinion, is the acting. The acting like truly comes through, and even you, Jacob, if you don't care about story, like I recommend even going on and just watching like one cutscene and watch the way that they animated the faces because they're like perfect. It looks like the actor. I know they do the mocap at the same time they do the facial capture at the same to record the audio, so they do all three at the same time. So like whatever acting they're doing is exactly what they did, which is really cool. And of course, like Ellie and Joel come back and they're both really well acted. The last thing I want to touch on, which is the thing I think that you guys will find interesting. Everyone feels like the developers did us dirty for two reasons. First off, the trailers lied. So like they changed out Joel's model in the trailers compared to the game because they wanted you to think certain things or that Joel was in certain parts of the game when he wasn't, or he was, depending on where you were. So people think that and they blatantly like lied. Like one of the lies was they said, under no circumstances will you ever have to kill a dog. And like people are upset because you're forced to kill a dog. And then it's hard to they said Ellie
up?
What?
Why did that actually come up about not having to kill a dog?
Yeah.
I don't know, that was just one of the things. That was the lesser thing.
Specific.
Another one was they said Ellie was the only playable character. They said that up front. Ellie is the only playable character, and that is not true. Like blatantly not true. And then the other thing and the biggest thing that I want your guys' thoughts on is they embargoed the second 12 hours of the game for the review. So all the reviews we saw didn't have the second half of the game in it at all. They weren't allowed to talk about the second half of the game. They weren't allowed to touch on it. And it is the biggest, it's the biggest talking point to the whole game. And again, I can't even talk about it because it'll spoil it instantly. But dude, it's like everyone's like, dude, these reviews were 10 out of 10 on the first half of the game. Yeah.
So
Jay?
Did they when they went ahead and submitted these reviews on the first half of the game, had they played it, or were they just not allowed to review based off of that second half?
They had played it, but they weren't allowed to review or show footage or talk about the second half of the game.
Okay, so the reviews are on the entire game, but they just couldn't tell anything about the second half of the game.
I think you'd have to look at per review, but
Yeah.
on the review, a couple of the reviews I was seeing specifically they were, and a couple it wasn't. So I mean, it probably depends. But even
It's
then,
still really misleading.
like, how are you gonna? What other game have we ever like listened to or watched where a dev embargoes half the game? They'll embargo like a boss fight. I get that. Like you don't want the reviewers to show the final boss fight in the review. I get that. Like you want that to be a surprise. But to embargo 12 hours of gameplay and say, look, you're not allowed to talk about this. Yeah,
That's sleazy.
the other thing is before launch, the game got leaked, and I think we had heard about this. The whole plot got leaked, and Neil Draiman, I think's his name. He's the director. He like talks about a little bit how it was like the worst day of his life. So they started copyright striking all of the channels who had the leaks, and people are really upset because they say it's not You can't copyright strike something like that. It's not like if you have video game footage, you can't copyright strike it as your own.
Yeah.
And so some people were really upset about that. They're like, I understand your frustration with the fact that like your story got leaked, but that doesn't give you the right to go and copyright strike everyone who has it. So that's the other thing that was really interesting. But yeah,
do you think that it was because the second half of the game was shit?
The second half of the game, it's hard.
It's okay. You're not going to hurt our feelings. Just speak from your heart.
Well, I'm not. No, it's not that. I'm just trying not to spoil it for people.
That's just how you made it. You implied it. You made it seem like maybe the second half just was like.
Oh yeah.
Shit.
Well,
so that's what I'm saying. Is the second half like not good as far as storyline? You don't have to spoil anything, but just like it doesn't just fall.
Yeah, I think it does. And I wouldn't say so. I'll put it this way. I wouldn't say the second half gameplay is bad. I wouldn't say the second half's like where you play and what you do isn't bad. But it is, in my opinion, a huge detriment to the story. Like a huge detriment. That's
probably why they didn't want reviews for it then.
Yeah, they wanted to really ambush people with the second half of the game, because it is like a surprising character you would never expect to play as. But I think it really does hurt it. And maybe like later we could actually talk about it if you guys played or whatever. We can go through it, or we can have a spoiler one where I actually break it down. But yeah, that was like really disappointing. I found myself, no joke, finishing the first half of the game. My wife and I both thought the game was over. I was like, oh, this is it. All right, let's see this. I was like putting the controller down, getting ready for end credits. And they had another 12 hours. I had another 12 hours to play.
Well, that's good.
What?
That's good, though.
Yeah, but I don't think it was that good.
I know, but like, if it was a good product, that's the second half, having that extra 12 hours of gameplay would be awesome.
Basically, I'll tell you how it kind of works. The whole first half builds up to the first whole half builds up to an event. And the second half builds up to the same event. So by the time the second half, you play all the way through the second half, like, you're 8 to 12 hours removed from when the actual event happened. So like, I felt like, you know, we didn't see what happened in this event. Like, it left as a cliffhanger, and now we wait 12 hours. Like, that's a lot of gaming. 12 hours. It was like 5 nights later of playing every single night before we get back to it. And like, so when we circle back around, it didn't feel as powerful. I was like, damn, dude, I've been waiting like this whole time. And when I thought the game was over, like, I thought that we were about to see like the climax, and then it cliffhanger, 12 hours of gameplay, and then come back. So, yeah, it's weird. And I've watched a couple different things. I would say overall it's a good game, but the story definitely was kind of like a jumbled mess.
What are you grading it?
What's that?
What are you grading it?
I've like went through this a lot in my head. Like, you know, if I had to grade like the graphics and the gameplay, it's that both of those are like graphics a 10, gameplay is like a 9.5. So they're really, really good. The game itself is like really well built. But the story is dude, it's exactly like Game of Thrones. It's exactly that way. Like, I felt like they just dropped the ball at the end, and I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, why did they do that to those characters? They're characters you love, you know? Daenerys, a great example, they said, Daenerys, normal person, and all of a sudden the bells ring and she decides to kill a whole fucking city. This is how this felt, you know? It just didn't, a lot of the characters' progression didn't feel right. So my overall ratings, probably like 8.5, and really carried by like really good graphics. What's that?
That's worth it, I feel like.
Definitely worth it. And I'm shit-talking it because it's a game I'm really passionate about and a story I'm really passionate about. But
that's what you gotta do, man.
Yeah.
About games you care about.
Yeah, and I do care about it. And it's something, too, that, like I said, my wife's really into, which isn't normal. And so we spent, like, a lot of hours, like, talking through it. And so, yeah, probably an 8.5 overall. If you played the first Last of Us, it's definitely worth it. Just for the gameplay alone, there's a lot of crafting bombs, laying bombs, falling back, setting traps, using a bow, all sorts of cool things. Interesting kind of puzzles. Yeah. That's all I got on The Last of Us. So
Shouldn't
Okay,
the,
so doing and watching?
I feel like The Last of Us is almost kind of a misleading title for a series that has 2 parts. It should be called like The Second to The Last of Us or something.
It's funny because
Pretty
even though
funny.
I've played them multiple times, I don't really know who they're referring to as The Last of Us. I'm assuming the survivors of the post-apocalyptic world. I don't know.
I mean, that has to be who they're talking about.
That makes sense, yeah.
The other thing, and I said this last week, and the last thing I'll say about this is, if you are thinking about playing The Last of Us 2, don't even play if you haven't played The Last of Us 1. Don't do it. You will be so disappointed. You'll be so confused. Right off the bat, you'll be like, what the fuck's happening? And you won't care about any of the people. So if you're thinking about playing The Last of Us 2, it's not a sequel. It's a second part, you know?
Yeah, but the story sucks, so why does it matter?
Well, I mean, you'll just be lost. So, I mean, the story sucks, but it's still I don't know. I guess if you really want to play it just for the gameplay, but you're talking about hours of cutscenes on something you won't even be able to understand what's going on, you know?
It's like Metal Gear Solid 4 amount of cutscenes.
Oh no, dude! Metal Gear Solid 4, the last cutscene's 3 hours long, isn't it?
No, it's 10
Dude.
minutes. It's don't even hate on
Dude,
that one.
I bet you it's longer than that. I'm gonna look it up.
No, the last cutscene.
The last cutscene.
25 minutes max.
27 minutes long.
Oh, it was close.
Actually,
I watched
check
it.
that. Actually, check that. It's 4 separate scenes, adding up to 71 minutes straight of non-gameplay. That's a long fucking cutscene, dude. 71 minutes.
Well, I like that game.
I do too. Great game. That's one of those where I didn't really care about the story, Jacob. I was just playing, shooting people, blending into the ground and shit.
Never cared or never played that game.
That game was fun.
Heard about it, though.
You should. It's very anime. And then you end up getting I think it's called the Togashima or something. It's a musket that shoots a tornado and drops tons of ammo.
He would like Raiden.
Yeah, you would. It's a cybernetic ninja with a katana.
I'm sorry, are you just basing who I would play off of what you think anime I would watch?
100%.
Yeah.
When you don't even
he
watch
looks
anime?
like anime.
Well, the most
He actually
anime
looks like
characters in
anime.
there. He actually gets his arms chopped off and fights with his sword in his mouth.
Yeah.
That's why I'm growing my man bun. Oh, dude, like Zoro from One Piece.
Fucking
Dang.
Dude, literally jumping around on a giant mech with a sword in his mouth.
And he fucking crushes everybody. He's such a savage.
Yeah, Zoro's a three sword style ninja. Has 2 swords or a sword in each hand, one in his mouth.
Well, Raiden just has no arms at all.
Yeah, there's another ninja that only has one in his mouth, and he has 2 arms that are actually swords. So I guess it's more like him. But
who thought of that? A 4-year-old?
I mean, some genius who probably has way more money than we do because he made an anime about it.
Probably. That game was so good though.
That's
one of the
making an anime.
One of the weirdest intros to any game. You start and it starts up these weird cable networks. You remember this, Jay?
Yeah.
And you're watching this cooking show about they're cooking octopuses and shit or something. I don't remember.
And then you get introduced to Brevin, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then the cutscenes. It has him smoking cigarettes, and it's just it has Snake smoking cigarettes, and it tells you explicitly to not smoke cigarettes. And then it would say make sure you take a break every hour of playing. You wouldn't want to get you wouldn't want your eyes to hurt or something like that.
Isn't this game 15 years old?
Yeah,
or
it's
10 years old.
PS3, yeah.
I still have it.
I'd say.
It's a good game. They should have remastered it.
All right, do you got anything for your watching?
Nope, that's it.
Cool.
Let's hear
Alright.
your Twitch stories.
Wait. Let's talk about the free games real quick.
Okay.
I didn't even check games with gold though.
Go ahead and talk about I got games with gold. Go ahead and talk about the other ones.
All right. So, PlayStation with the PSN Plus or PlayStation Plus, they're giving out 2K20 for free, which is kind of tight. If you remember liking any of the 2K games, And I honestly think that even if it was like a $10 game, I would say it would be worth it. But if you already have like 2K19, it's still worth it because it's just an updated roster. The next one was the hell was it?
Oh, I got a free game for you guys while you look that up.
Tomb Raider.
Just so everybody knows, Apex Legends is now switching to Nintendo Switch, and they're gonna make all of their games cross-platform soon. I think it's like coming either summer or winter. Apex is a free game, so I guess you could kind of conclude that to your free games list.
Dope. When is that happening?
Either this summer or winter. I think it's nice that they're actually going to start cross-platform, so like I can play with my friends who play on their PlayStations, Xbox, whatever. It's going to be actually nice. I think it's going to make the ranking a lot better too.
Mm-hmm.
And then bonus game is Erica. I never played Erica.
Yeah, not familiar with it. Well, hey, for Xbox, we sure have some. Well, they're video games, I suppose.
Is it better than Coffee Talk?
Well, we have WRC8 FIA World Rally Championship.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't know what that game is. Are you familiar with it?
No.
It's a rally car driving.
Seems like it.
You would know.
It seems like a dumb game to give away because it's so. I don't know. It's like a niche. I feel like you have to want to play rally games to like play them.
PlayStation's given that out, or at least a similar game, like 5 times. I feel like.
Sounds like a game a redneck would play.
I agree with you.
Or like Euro Trash.
Do you game? Yeah, I play the car rally game with my sister.
The other game they have is Dunk Lords, which it says the summary says Dunk Lords is a 2-on-2 basketball beat 'em up featuring over-the-top special moves, devastating dunks, and game-changing equipment. Choose from 20 of the baddest ballers around, each with a unique special attacks and abilities, and do battle on a variety of hazard-filled courts.
That's awesome, dude. There's this game I used. Oh God, sorry. There's this game I used to play on Xbox where it was like, I don't know if you guys ever played, but it was like street football, like you'd play with your friends.
NFL
but it was like
Street?
It wasn't an NFL. Oh, it was probably called NFL Street. I played it on Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
But like you'd get like your points up, and you would literally just straight up just shoot up like fucking steroids or some shit, and you go to like this super mode.
That game was dope, dude. NBA Street was even better.
Bro, I love
That's what
those
I feel
games.
like that game is. Dunk Lords.
Yeah, NBA Street, I remember, like, they had all these people you could play as, and one guy I remember who, I don't even know who he was, I wish I could look him up. He was like a 76er who was like really insanely
Dr. J.
tall. What's his name?
Yao Ming.
He was 76er, who was really tall.
Yeah, and he was in that
O'Neal.
game. I don't remember what his name was. Let's see here, let me look it up.
Steven
Like Manute Bol
Gronkowski.
or something.
What's that? What do you say, Jay?
Was it like Manute Bol?
I don't know. Maybe. No, I don't remember. I thought it was like Makimbo something.
Oh, Dikembe Mutombo?
Maybe. Is he really tall?
Yeah. He's not. He's like 7 feet.
Oh, that's it?
That's how tall centers were back then.
Yo,
Normal.
that's shorter than Yao Ming.
Yeah, but Yao Ming is like
7'4".
It was Dikembe Mutombo. That's who it was.
Mutombo.
Back in the day,
Oh,
You-
TJ Hutchinson-Zada?
you could get that guy in NBA Street, and I would literally stand in front of the net goaltending. And like anytime anyone shot, I just hit triangle and like jump up and like catch it.
Just like Slender Man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I played the shit out of that. But anyway, so nothing overly eventful, I suppose.
I think I'm still gonna download 2K20 for PlayStation. Hopefully,
Yeah,
I
me
get
too.
like import my progress from Switch.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Worst case, it doesn't, I suppose.
You want to hear a little funny thing about Switch that I actually didn't know? A little fun fact for you. We're talking about Switches. I'm probably going to buy the Switch because we just have a Switch Lite. And my aunt bought a Switch because when she bought her Switch Lite, apparently Switch Lites don't have the rumble effect of whenever you're doing anything. It doesn't have the little vibration aspect to
I
it.
didn't know that.
So if you like that, don't buy a Switch Lite because it doesn't have it built in. Buy a normal Nintendo Switch.
Wow.
Yeah, my aunt went out, she has 2 switches, a light and a regular one, because she was playing Animal Crossing when she fished. It didn't have a rumble effect.
When are you going to
So
get a Switch?
Probably when they're dropped in price and readily available.
When the Switch 2 comes out?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Alright, you want to get into some drama?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Alright. Who wants to go first?
It's all you, boss.
All me?
Well, I think this is a quick one. Speaking of 2K20, Damian Lillard, who is a Portland Trailblazer in the NBA, is his first NBA 2K cover that he's made. And he was talking to, I can't remember, it was somebody on like First Take or somebody on ESPN, and he was super proud of it. And as he should be, because he's been killing it for like, ever since he's been in the NBA. And he was like, yeah, I talked to my agent. They told me that I was going to be a cover athlete, yada, yada, yada. I thought there were a bunch of like asterisks behind it. There's definitely not. I'm the cover athlete, and I'm really proud of it. Then I go watch all the commercials, his like promo video for it. It's really hilarious. You should go out and watch it. But then I start reading about it, and there is an asterisk. It says he's the cover athlete for current gen consoles.
They
played him, dude. It sucks because like I wanted to. That was like a reason to buy it, and I was like, oh cool, for sure buy it then. Now, if I'm gonna get it, I'm not gonna get it on a current gen console. I'm gonna get it on the next gen console. Hopefully they don't do him dirty and they release a next gen console version of it with him on the cover.
They're probably gonna do usually I don't know if they always do this, but I know Madden, I think, did this, is when they released like Madden on the regular consoles with the regular cover athlete, and then the next gen console was like some legend. Like it was like the Barry Sanders edition.
Here's what they normally do. They've even had previous titles with 3 different cover athletes, and you get a pick, and then there's honestly like 1 or 2 different editions. There's usually a special edition or a legend edition, like what you were saying. So they're probably going to put like Kobe Bryant on there, and they're probably going to put like Zion Williamson on the next gen cover. So
dude, that Kobe's one's going to sell so fast.
Yeah, for sure.
If they were smart, they do like a special edition with Kobe that included the next gen one too.
Well, that's what the Legends one's going to be for both current and next gen.
Oh, nice.
That's my guess.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they do that because money. I think they'd sell them separately. But
what do you mean?
Like Scotty was saying, where they should do it for like 2 different or 2 editions together. I bet you they'd sell them separately because they'd make more money off people buying them separately.
That's what I'm saying. They would still be separate. You would have a Legends cover with like a bunch of perks and DLC and stuff that you only get with the Legends, but they'll probably have a Legends title for current gen and another one for the next gen.
Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. I thought you were saying that they would just have one like bundled together.
No.
All right, let's hear your Twitch.
Yeah, there's a lot of Twitch drama going on. I don't know if anybody watches any Twitch streams lately, but there is this thing called the DMCA Act. I'm pulling it up here because I knew I wouldn't remember off the top of my head. It started in 1998. Basically, what the DMCA is, it's an organization that said, "Hey, the internet's kicking off. Jay's falling asleep, and we need to do something about it." So they put this act that says, hey, there's all this copyright infringement, blah, 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 yada, 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 whatever. And so fast forward to today's standards. You watch Twitch, you're watching a streamer, they're playing games. There's always music in the background. Long story short, the music that they have in the background, whether it's Spotify or whatever, like online source they use, they don't own those. They don't own any of those rights. And so they are basically going to get sued for every video that they have, which is tons of videos, clips, VODs. VODs are old like stream videos from start to end. And if they don't
Video
delete all
on
of them, they'll
demand.
get sued. What was that?
VODs are video on demand.
Yeah, video on demand. I didn't actually know that. That's kind of cool. And so basically these streamers who have built this whole portfolio of clips, VODs that they're really proud of, if they ever want to go back and watch a video of something that happened, well, too bad, they have to delete it. Otherwise, they're going to get sued by the DMCA.
Aren't there a bunch of people out there that actually didn't even know that some of this shit got pulled?
Nobody.
And then, what?
Nobody knew about it. It just randomly happened. They're just like, all right, boom.
Oh,
all right,
okay,
it's happening.
Yeah. I thought you were saying that didn't happen to anybody. It was like, oh yeah, I recently watched something where some guy just like randomly went to one of his old videos and like everything was completely silent.
Yeah.
It's messed up.
This is becoming a problem as a whole. Just on YouTube as well. Like YouTube is censoring the shit out of people. Like, dude, even like the algorithm pushes you down if you say the word fuck. They push your video down. It's like, dude,
it's because it's not child appropriate if you say fuck.
And then dude, there's just like multiple problems with this, and it sucks. Most creators generally are going to like a Patreon model where they're just not making any money on like their videos. They make or their streams, not streams,
no ads,
videos. Yeah, no ads exactly. So they just make donations. They make Patreon, and that's like how they survive. Whereas it used to be all it was AdSense. Kind of in the same vein, there's like a creator I watch. It's called Boundary Break. And he goes outside the bounds of like of games and levels and stuff, and he shows how games work. Like, for example, if there's a shopkeep behind a window and you can see the shopkeep talking and moving, he'll take the camera behind it and show you how the game generates their body, generates their arm movements, how they maybe open the doors, that kind of stuff. Well, Nintendo recently struck him because he did a one on Animal Crossing, and like he's like, literally, dude, it's film of Animal Crossing. He didn't say shit about Animal Crossing. He didn't like. It's just they're like, this has Animal Crossing in it, and according to like, you're not allowed to mod anything. Which technically he had like a modded camera, but he didn't tell people how he did it, and it was all just like super innocent stuff. He's like, this is how the water works. This is kind of cool, you know, like showing the way the textures work. And like he came on stream really recently crying, like literally like tearing up, like, dude, I love Nintendo. Like, why are they striking my channel down? I'm making no money this month basically because they just decided that they didn't want that anymore. And that's probably a similar thing, yeah.
Boundary Break is tight too because they do a whole bunch of no clip stuff. They even did it on like Mortal Kombat. They've done it on like GoldenEye. That's a really awesome channel that I would highly suggest. If there have been any games that you've been curious about, they've probably done it.
Mm-hmm.
And what's kind of sad too is like they're having to base this whole thing off of a law that was written in the late 90s. Like the internet was booming, but the internet's not what it was today, and the laws for kind of any YouTuber like having any of those issues, or any Twitch streamer having the issues with copyright, I feel like just with today's standards, it doesn't fit with laws that worked 20 years ago, because these are things that weren't even thought of. Like watching somebody play video games on a camera live, like if somebody said that to you in 1998, you would have been like, dude, you're crazy.
Well, I think if I remember correctly, so it was like 9 at the time, the whole idea of the was it DCMA thing?
Yeah.
It was for people that were downloading music on Napster for free. It was
exactly
so they would get around buying music. It wasn't necessarily using music for personal gain, or using music in a video for background music or whatever. It was literally just to protect the copyrighted intellectual content.
That's
of, like,
exactly what
Metallica,
it was for, actually.
And Lars Ulrich had a fucking fit over it.
What's even worse is there's even artists who are like, dude, I don't give a fuck if they use my music. Like, it's awesome. They're supporting me. And the record labels that they're signed for to go, yeah, I don't care. If we win this lawsuit, we get money. Yeah. So they're like...
They're way overreaching. Like, the thing is in my opinion, like, I understand, like, distributing a song or, you know, illegally, the guy doesn't get paid. Whoever it is doesn't get paid. The record label or whatever. No one goes to a Twitch stream to listen to one song or listen to the song.
Exactly.
They're watching them, and that's just background music, dude. And the fact that if I really wanted to go listen to fucking Enter the Sandman for free, I could on YouTube. I don't have to go to the stream.
Yeah.
And it's just, dude, it's so stupid that these people are suffering just because these big companies are doing whatever the fuck they want. Like they have the money. What are you gonna do about it? I guess you could go to court with us and you might win. Best case scenario, you win and you don't pay anything other than all your fucking lawyer fees, and all the time. It's really dirty what they're doing.
I mean, it's dirty, and it's also kind of like it's like if you think about somebody who has been streaming for their whole life, all they've done is played video games and recorded it. Like they're making them delete like parts of their lives. Like it doesn't just have like that kind of like money impact. It has like huge emotional impact on all these streamers too.
Yeah, exactly.
But
it's stupid that they get to do that.
There's that with Twitch going on. Did you want to talk about anything on Twitch too, Scotty? I think you had a
Yeah, sure. I mean the big one that a lot of people are talking right now. Today, was it today? Yeah, today. Actually yesterday, I think now. Dr. Disrespect, who's one of the biggest players on the platform, was permabanned. This is not the first time he was banned. He was also banned for taking a camera into the bathroom one time. At E3, I think he was live streaming in a bathroom, so he got banned for that. But then they gave it back. But yeah, Twitch, his exact response, it was actually long ago, I guess it's 3 days ago. Twitch has not notified me on specific reasons behind their decision. Firm handshakes to all the support during this difficult time, Dr. Disrespect. So, permaban, and didn't you say you had an idea and you knew Jacob what's going on?
Yeah, so I mean, it's funny that he says that he doesn't know why. On that last stream before he got banned, he was streaming, he got a text, was looking at his phone, and Dr. Disrespect, if you ever watched him, he has this character that he gets into. He went into just some basically, hey guys, like if you're watching this video, like anybody who's on this Twitch right now, I love you. I'll always love you guys. Support me, blah blah blah. So he's really out of character. He was doing some face emotions, like he was trying to hold back like tears. So clearly he got a text saying like something had happened, and he knew that something was going to happen. And then he closed out his stream after that. But one speculation is that Spotify might be starting a new streaming service for gaming. Doc was going to be a part of that, and Twitch found out that violates his $1 million contract with them, so they just said, all right, cool, you're done, and canceled his channel. But that there's no proof, there's no nothing for that. That's just speculation. There's no info that's been released on any of this, so who knows really what it is, but that just gives you kind of an idea of why.
Well, the major players are running for the hills at this point. If they banned him, Shroud's gone, Ninja's gone.
No, they're not, actually. Huge thing with Shroud and Ninja that not a lot of people know, surprisingly. Shroud, Ninja, both left Twitch platform, signed a contract with Mixer. These aren't real numbers, but let's just say like Mixer, and they paid Shroud $10 million and they paid Ninja $20 million to join their platform. Mixer was actually doing so bad that they had to sell their contracts. They had to basically say, okay, we can't do this anymore. They're selling their contract to Amazon Gaming, and Amazon said, all right, huh?
Amazon Gaming is Twitch.
It's different. They're going to have their own separate. Well, no, yeah, okay, yeah, yes, Twitch. It's a partner of Twitch. And then their contracts were going to double, so Shroud would be $20 million, Ninja was going to be $40 million, whatever. Then
That's
they said,
what the number is.
Oh, it is?
Ninja got paid between 20 and 30 from Mixer.
Cool. Then they both said, no, we don't want that. So what that forced Mixer to do is that forced Mixer to pay out Shroud and pay out Ninja They're $10 and $20 million cash, just check right away. And now they're actually free agents who can sign with any company that they want to. And them being the two biggest streamers in the world, they can just go back to Twitch with no strings attached, no contract with Twitch. And they can just make all this money from all their donations, whatever, without being in contract. And if they want to leave Twitch, they can, like, willingly. They don't have any ties to any company. So
Shroud for sure is like one of my favorite humans. Like,
yeah,
I don't watch his streams a lot, but the things he does are really like truly amazing, especially specifically for the community. He'll say, "All right, he'll just be like, let's raid," and no joke, he'll look around Twitch for like a little small, like a stream with like one viewer, and Shroud would have like 10,000 viewers or something crazy like that. And he would just move all 10,000 of his viewers, or actually he wouldn't move them. He'd just tell them, everyone, go to the stream now. Sub, donate, sub. And like 10,000 people would move over to this little content creator sub, or Twitch, and just flood it. Like they'd be like, monthly goal, 12 subs, and they would instantaneously get like 2,000 subs because he's like, spread the wealth, and like he does a lot of charity streams. Like he's just a really cool guy.
He doesn't need the money, man.
He's ridiculously good at video games too, like ungodly good.
FPS games.
Yeah, dude, it's like his like abilities are so ridiculous. Like watching him on PUBG back in the day. I know he does Counter-Strike, I think, and stuff too, but
he quit Counter-Strike long ago.
Just like everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, Shroud technically won a major. He was a part of this Cloud9. Then he retired to stream, but he was considered a fill-in for Cloud9. Wasn't actually part of the team, just if they needed somebody, he'd fill in. Then they won a major, so he actually technically won a major. Didn't play, though.
I ever tell you about the time I played against Team Solo Mid in PUBG?
Get your ass kicked?
Yeah, I lost. It wasn't just me, it was 20. It was a 20-person game with two Team Solo Mids. Guys. Oh. And the 20-person game, the last two were both the Team Solo Mid guys.
I've beaten a lot of like WoW pros, but that's kind of like where my career started and ended.
But yeah, so I mean, there's drama. I feel bad for the little creators. These guys are getting fucked over. They don't have the money or the means to fight a lot of the time, and that like really sucks, dude. It sucks these big corporations have control to be able to do whatever they want. That these places that should be like free speech to kind of do these things, and they're just nitpicking and taking advantage of the law, you know?
Yeah, and it also sucks that Twitch isn't backing up any of their people using their platform. They're basically like, hey, we provide the platform. That's it. So they're like, yep, delete all your shit. Like, that's all we can do. So I think it's really shitty that Twitch as a company isn't really backing up people that make that money.
Especially when Jeff Bezos is worth like $140 billion.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? Jeff Bezos, when he divorced his wife, she became like the 40th richest person in the world just because she divorced him and took 25% of his wealth.
But she also was his like partner too for a lot of that. So
yeah,
it's not like she just took all of his money.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying he was worth so much money that when she split off him, she went into the top 100 of people.
She took his money.
Yeah, well, she took 25% of Amazon, so it's a big chunk.
But even when she was with Jeff Bezos, like she was already really wealthy just because that was his partner.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you guys want to talk about?
Well, that's it.
All right. Shout out.
Yeah. Shout out Patricia. I don't need a suppository. I have my prune juice. Shout out Delbert, Adolf, Ethan. Shout out Ben's mom, Jacob's mother. Shout out Katie. I love you all. That's it. Oh wait, and shout out Panda, you son of a bitch.
All right, Jacob, anybody?
Yeah, shout out Coors Light. Shout out to Danny, Kai, Kylie.
The iPhone 6s you have in your hand for some reason?
iPhone 5 that I have in my hand that I've just been playing around with. I don't know why. I found it. Shout out to Josh, Jax. That's pretty much it.
Check this
Oh.
out. It's a Galaxy S2.
Join the club.
Shout out to Jack. Oh,
that's
go
it.
ahead. Sorry.
No,
Okay, you
that's
got
it.
it. My wife, my son, Jax, Robbie, Kat, Raven, Patrick, Jay Henny. Thank you guys for listening in. Goodbye.
Hey, Panda bought a gun too.
Yeah, I know. His fingers are too fucking short.
Shout out, Panda. See you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
Laters.